Welcome everybody. How are you? It's deadline day. I told you there was no reason to panic. We got it done in the end. Well, allegedly we've got it done. He's flown over. He hasn't yet completed his medical at the time of recording, but absent any issues, he's going to be holding the shirt this afternoon. I am, of course, talking about Pedro Porro. The deal in the end, guys, turned out to be a €5 million loan fee for 6 months, followed by 43 million in the summer. Now, does that on some level lead us to think that the sporting outfit didn't really want to let him go? And if you remember yesterday, we were talking about the two different noises that were happening regarding his release clause. Some people like Paul O'Keefe were saying Tottenham could have activated the clause at the start of the window, but not in the final 12 days of January. Others were saying there was no ability to activate it until the summer. So maybe the reason why we've done this €5 million loan fee for 6 months plus 43 million in the summer is some way of getting around Sporting's lack of willingness to deal on terms of trade, and that maybe we end up having to pay for the entire thing up front in the summer. I don't know. Well, time will tell on that one. The details have started to kind of break through, but I don't think we'll ever know for sure whether or not we are going to be paying in instalments or whether Sporting held out. One thing is for sure though, guys, if you believe the rumours that were put out there, is that Daniel Levy took over the trade, took over the deal, and that company, I forget the name, was it ACC? I forget the name. Some agency that was hired or employed to do the negotiations, to be the intermediaries. They ballsed it up so badly with that last minute £2.5 million administration fee thing, that Daniel Levy stepped in and got the deal done within like a couple of hours. And that's why I always felt kind of confident, like on this particular one, that we were going to get it done, because I think Daniel Levy would open himself up to being absolutely heckled like he's never been heckled before on Saturday for the Manchester City game, or on the weekend for the Manchester City game. Because that would have been the outcome. Had that deal fallen through, there would have been absolute chaos. So I'd imagine that on this particular one, Daniel Levy saw the wood for the trees, got his finger out, got his checkbook out, and basically got the job done. Which shows you that when he wants to, he can act with aggression and determination and make positive things happen. It's just, why doesn't he do it more often? And why did it have to wait? Why did it have to wait until the last day for this to be formalised and finalised? Morning, guys. But by hook or by crook, we've got it done, and our right wing back spot has gone from being the weakest part in our position to hopefully something that we'll look back on in 6 months and reflect on it as being one of the strongest elements of our team. And then next season, when you've got Destiny Udogie, if he comes over and continues his rise to the top of the stat ranks for left wing backs, I mean, Tottenham look far better. Like, already you can see that next season Tottenham are going to be a real force, as long as we can get just 3 more positions filled. And for me, they're both 2 centre backs and a goalkeeper. A lot of people asking for a creative midfielder. If I'm entirely honest, as I said last night on the stream, thanks for everyone who tuned in, by the way, and appreciate George coming on. Excellent effort from him making his debut. And of course, Danny Kiriakou, Adam William Cahill, and the Irish Hotspur himself, Dave Harris. It was a really cool show, very long show. It wasn't supposed to be that long, but I hope you had a good time. What was I saying before that? Oh yeah, I do think that, for me, one of the things that separates us from the 5 or 6 teams that are stronger than Tottenham Hotspur is having an absolute monster midfielder. And I don't know if Bissouma was brought in to be that guy, and it hasn't really worked out for him so far under Conte's style. But when you look at some of the other teams around you that play with a 3-man midfield, you know, Arsenal have got Thomas Partey, Manchester City have got Rodri, Casemiro at United. You know, there's every team that's stronger than Tottenham has that beast of a midfielder, and all of the other teams that used to be stronger than Tottenham that are now pulling back a little bit, they also have an absence of a beast. Liverpool don't really have one at the moment. Chelsea don't really have one at the moment. And Tottenham don't have one either, because I'm not really sure what role Bentancur plays. He's a fantastic footballer, probably our best midfielder. But I don't think you're ever going to see him put in the crunching tackles and just clear things up quite as appropriately as those guys I just mentioned do. And Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, whilst he tries to be that guy, I think his level's just a little bit too low to be able to be considered in that same ilk, although his stats, generally speaking, are always up there with the best. So I'd love to see Tottenham find that player, whoever it could be, or develop Bissouma into that player over the summer that can be that monster that can get hold of games for the future. Anyway, I've been talking for 6.5 minutes and I haven't even got onto the rest of the information about the transfer stuff. On this transfer deadline day, you're probably going to see 2 or 3 outgoings. We've already seen Bryan Hill yesterday getting his chance to go back to Seville, and it's so embarrassing for Tottenham to think that we've paid Seville 25 million quid and given them Eric Lamela, and they have still got their player. I know it's only on a 6-month loan deal, but it looks awful. The optics look really bad on it, and I don't really understand the benefit of sending him back there, apart from to keep him happy. And I think he is very unhappy at the moment, and why wouldn't you be? The way that I think he's been treated has been nothing short of atrocious. Always kicked to the curb, always put to the back of the priority list, and I don't think it's particularly nice or cool. So I'm happy for him to go, and hopefully he can, you know, feel a little bit less homesick and enjoy his time for the rest of the year. But as far as his development goes, I'm not sure what we learn by sending him back to Seville. We already know he's competent and capable in the Spanish league. Is he able to do it in the UK, in the Premier League? It would have been nice to have sent him on loan somewhere here where you can beef up and learn how to, you know, to handle the physical requirements. But by hook or by crook, like I say, anyway, he's gone. Good luck to him. I hope he has a successful spell, and we'll see him again in the summer. I don't believe that there's any obligation or even option to buy. If there is an option and we can get our money back on him, then maybe it's better just to shake hands, because it doesn't look like he's in Antonio Conte's plans, which, as I say, is a shame. For me, I think he's a very talented player. We still needed to get rid of somebody else though for the UEFA Champions League, the foreign numbers limit, and that player looks like it's Matt Doherty. Surprising one, guys. It looks like he's going to Atletico Madrid, which, you know, caught me by surprise. I'm shocked that it wouldn't have been Emerson Royal. Maybe Conte thinks that Emerson Royal is a better option to have in rotation or in reserve for Pedro Porro than Matt Doherty is. To see him go out to Spain is an interesting one, and again, don't know the deals yet. It's kind of early on that one, but it should happen. Apparently it was agreed very, very quickly, and whether there's any obligation or options or it's just a straight 6-month loan, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't imagine that Matt Doherty will make his stay in Spain a permanent one, but we'll see what happens in the summer. And then the latest one that's come out today, well, not today, it came out yesterday, but we're not sure where we're at with it right now, is Jed Spence is also allowed to leave on loan with options around Leicester City, which is a strange one because they have quite a few right backs, but they were on the list of suitors, and Nottingham Forest wanted him again. Obviously, we know Brentford put in a bid for him, a loan bid with an obligation to buy, which Tottenham rejected. And the last one is the club that apparently has been selected as the best fit for him, which again is a strange one, is Rennes from Ligue 1, the French league. Don't know if Jed Spence speaks French. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Caught me off guard as well. Didn't think that was going to be a likely scenario. Can only imagine the rationale for sending him there rather than to the Premier League is because maybe the money was better, or maybe they want him to play in a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2 rather than a flat back four. There you are. Hello. And I'm not sure if Rennes does play with a back three or a back five, but I would imagine that must be the case. So we might end up with only 2 right wing backs, recognised right wing backs at the club for the remainder of the season, which is fine. It's what most people do, what most clubs do. They only have 2 players for each position, but you know, Dave brought it up yesterday. Pedro Porro does have, you know, a history of having little niggles, and never out for long periods of time, but out, you know, for a week here, a week there, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. And let's hope that that's not too frequently found to be part of his Tottenham story, because if it is, then we're back to Emerson Royale, and we go from being a good-looking team to a bang average one, just with that position flipping players. So I don't think there's anything else going to be coming in, guys, but we'll, you know, you never know. If there's any kind of late bids for Japhet Tanganga or Davinson Sanchez that might make space for a centre-back, maybe Tottenham could get something done. You know, there's other news floating around that Manchester City are letting, you know, other top-level midfielders leave their club this last day of the window, so I'd be surprised if Tottenham were on the receiving end of any of that luck. But lots to think about, lots to review, and hopefully tomorrow when I do a live stream in the evening there'll be some more good news. But love to know what your thoughts are, guys, on the window, if it stays as it is with Doherty gone, Hill gone, Danjuma in and Porro in. What do you give that out of 10? And if there's anything else that comes in, what would it take to get your number up to a 7 or an 8 or a 9 based on whatever you think it is currently? Is it just a centre back, or is it a goalkeeper? Could an additional midfielder make that flip up to higher numbers? Let me know your thoughts, guys. For me, listen, Pedro Porro changes a lot for me. Not getting it done wasn't really an option. He still hasn't held the shirt, so we don't know, but I think it's done now. It's pretty certain. And I think that for me makes a massive difference. Had it been just Danjuma, then the window was a failure, of course. But with the 2 of them, I think it immediately improves our first team, and it also gives us more depth and more strength of options and opportunity to pivot in styles and formations at the top end of the field. I'd probably give it a 6, a 5.5, a 6, because we still haven't improved in the centre-back roles, and we still haven't improved in the goalkeeper role. But it's January, so it's very unusual to do more than a couple of signings. I know Chelsea are breaking the mould at the moment. They're breaking everything. They're breaking the bank. They're breaking hearts. But we'll see if that helps them out or not. Like, share and subscribe, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. As always, bye-bye.